The Prime Minister today pledged British boots on the ground and planes in the air in Ukraine as a face-off against Russia ramps up.
The UK is prepared to back this with boots.
OK, I'm going to be brutally honest tonight. OK, I'm going to be brutally honest.
Do the heavy lifting.
OK, I'm going to be brutally honest tonight. I deplore their invasion.
With boots on the ground and planes in the air, together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting.
OK, I'm going to be brutally honest tonight. I deplore their invasion of Ukraine, but I have little interest in Russia. I also have little interest in Ukraine, other than I hope they win their war against the invaders. Israel, too, isn't my priority. Gaza isn't my problem either. And this doesn't come from a lack of empathy. I've spent many hours watching brutal videos of young Russian and Ukrainian men killing each other in filthy Donbass trenches. Some 1.5 million people have died, reportedly. Sons, daughters, mothers, fathers. I imagine the pain their families are feeling while leaders in dark suits talk about their future over expensive dinners on the continent. But ultimately, I have to care most about what's going on in this country, our country, because charity starts at home. Migrant hotels decimating our communities, the invasion of our southern border, pensioners freezing to death, the land grab on British farmers, record high taxes, record high immigration, attacks on free speech, Pakistani rape gangs, paedophiles being spared prison, the decimation of our military, our bloated civil service, criminal asylum seekers being allowed to stay here because their offspring don't like foreign chicken nuggets. I wish the Ukrainians well. I've been there before. I've spent time with their people. They are generous, they're polite, they're hardworking, and as we've seen over the past 3 years, they are courageous. But I find it hard to get impassioned about a war that's nearly 2,000 miles away, involving a country that's not even part of NATO. And I understand some people are going to be watching this now at this very moment and calling me ignorant or uninformed. I've heard the arguments. Ukraine is the last bastion against the Russians invading mainland Europe. Poland will be next, they say, then Putin is on our shores. But I also remember when we were spun into an illegal invasion of Iraq using the lie of weapons of mass destruction. So forgive me if I distrust hypotheticals. It was only a few years ago, The Guardian, of all people, were telling us Ukraine was one of the most corrupt countries on earth. And let's talk about the money, shall we, as well? How can a government plead poverty at home and, by their own research, subject up to 4,000 pensioners to a cold death by scrapping their winter fuel allowance, yet find an extra £1.6 billion down the back of the sofa today for trench and drone warfare between Slavic adversaries? And also, what happened to the £22 billion black hole? Is there a magic money tree after all? Or has all this conjecture from the government about being left in economic mess simply been political spinning and lies? His performance and approval ratings at home are poor, to say the least, but the Prime Minister has earned plaudits this week for his work on the international stage. He hosted European leaders today and declared Britain's priority was to protect a country suffering volatile times.
We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace.
The Prime Minister also met Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni today to talk about Ukraine and, interestingly, tackling illegal migration.
That I've been also proposing a meeting between.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean that we sit back. Instead, those willing will intensify planning now with real urgency The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. We're working with the US on this point after my meeting with President Trump last week. And let me be clear, we agree with the President on the urgent need for a durable peace. Now we need to deliver together. Finally, we agreed that leaders will meet again very soon to keep the pace behind these actions and to keep working towards this shared plan. We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace.